Welcome back to Momentous Struggle, a Star Wars Shatterpoint podcast. On this week's episode, Aubrey and I are going to talk about the Jin box because, well, Aubrey went and bought it and wants to talk about Jin and things that he can do with it, so we'll talk about that and see what happens. So we'll go ahead and jump on into that. I'm here with Aubrey. How are you doing today? You waking up, getting yourself kind of moving again, are you?
Unfortunately, I had the fun thing that happens to me sometimes where I wake up super early instead of taking a long time to fall asleep. But I'm here. I'm up. I've been in and out of consciousness for the past few hours. So if I say anything extra silly today, well, it's all my fault.
I mean, that's just normal, though, right? You're saying like silly things. That just happens. We should be used to that by now.
I mean, if they're listening to this,
if you're
podcast,
here, you're used to
right?
this. Yeah, right. If you're here, this is what you've come to expect from us. But yeah, so what have you been up to? Anything exciting as far as gaming going on, or Shatterpoint? Any cool Shatterpoint stuff been doing?
Nah, this was a light week. This was more of a 3D printing. I was actually hoping to have already gotten the Jin box assembled and a little bit worked on, at least Baze and Chirrut, but none of that has happened yet. My days went a little different than I anticipated since picking up the box, but I'm probably going to work on it today. So this was more trying to get us ready for LVO, like the kind of the final push on terrain, because while we should have enough tables for everybody, there's always the question of, some of the tables are not present with us, so I like having backup plans. So I'm trying. Well, one, that we need this terrain because presumably next LVO is going to be bigger, is our expectations, and we need the terrain. But also, I like being extra prepared in case something goes sideways, Todd, right?
Right. I hear you. I'm just kind of the same way. Like, I think that military parenting mindset kind of comes in where it's like, be prepared for most of, whatever you can be prepared for type of a thing. Yeah, I mean, this LVO, because this is like, LVO 2025 2.0, it's more of a, it's going to be smaller. I don't think we're going to actually hit the numbers that we hit last at LVO in January. At least talking with the wonderful people at Frontline Gaming, it sounds like last time I checked, we were probably at like 50-ish people, which there might be a couple last minute ads, but I don't think so, just because it's like the way everything has worked out is not going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to go in October now. I don't see that happening, but 2026, people can plan for it again like they usually do for LVO, so I think we'll be fine there. But yeah, this one's going to be a little bit lighter, so I think we'll be, I think, more than fine on terrain. But yeah, being prepared, getting ourselves prepared for 2026 is probably a good idea. But we're also in the middle of, let's see, we are how many weeks away from Smite Club 2? I mean, because we like to, let's see, we got 3 weeks. 3 weeks. 3 Saturdays from the time that this drops and everything like that, we'll be having Smite Club, and that's that one, at least that's like a smaller one. I think we're still at 29 players, staying pretty constant there. I'm sure we'll have a couple people that don't make it out or have to drop or something along those lines. Probably take us down to 27, 28, which is pretty normal. So I think it'll be interesting to see, like this little run of ours. And of course, I'm smack dab in the middle of birthday runs and everything like that. So today's my oldest daughter's birthday, and then youngest daughter is Wednesday, and then we're done. No more birthdays.
Well, right, because it was
for the month.
Yeah, but no, you have to explain, because also it was your wife's birthday, and isn't your birthday is this month too, right? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah,
I just wished you a happy birthday recently.
Yes. So my wife's birthday is a week before mine, then it's my birthday, and then 3 days after mine is the oldest boy, then the daughter's today, and then my other daughter is the 20th. So, yeah,
Yeah.
there's a
Birthday
2 week window
month.
there where 5 birthdays in this house happen, and there's only 5 people in this house, so not counting dogs and stuff. So yeah, it's wild. And so we're in the home stretch. We did the family party yesterday, so I have not had much time for gaming and stuff like that over the last. So I'm hoping to get back into that this week, but yeah, and I've just been doing myself, just doing keep on with the painting stuff, especially because I'm doing painting a core set for one of our new players, getting that stuff painted up for him. So slowly working my way through that and everything like that. So as well as the normal content creation stuff that we do.
Yeah, yeah. No, so this is kind of a catch up week. Oh, I will say here, shout out to all of the great other content creators, because the one thing I have been doing, and so of course now I can't remember who talked about what because I listened to too many of them at once, but I listened to all just about all the podcasts that are out there trying to get caught up. Oh my word! Coordinated Fire had to go and release another episode while I was like, I'm finally caught up with Coordinated Fire. Boom! They dropped another episode. I was like, oh, okay, fine. Fine. But there was some really good really good content out there. I'm not gonna go into detail because I will probably mix up who talked about what, but there was there was some good stuff going on. Go check them out.
Oh yeah, all great stuff. I mean, it's like it's weird because like I still listen to a couple of different MCP podcasts too. So it's like sometimes it's just like I just the commute into work and the commute home from work is not enough to sit there and listen to every podcast. Unfortunately, sometimes so it's like that's the unfortunate part of it is like 'cause that's when I do my podcast listening and everything. So it's funny, but yeah, there's great ones out there. Yeah, definitely Rogue Support. My top listings are always the Rogue Support, Rarely Reserved, Coordinated Fire, and Red Mandos are like those ones. And then if I have time for other people, wait, no, I definitely Between Two Sprues is like a top one now too because I just love the banter for Two Legs.
Todd's
and,
like
and
my
Papoose.
top 10 podcasts, and I'm like, Todd, I think there's
Right.
only about 10 of them out there.
Right. Well, like those 5, like definitely are like but it's like that's to and from work every day. That's getting through those 5. It's like okay, now when do I listen to the rest of the podcasts that are out there? So it's like, but those definitely like those are my top 5 for sure. But yeah, definitely worth listening to all of them. So I mean, and I'm excited, like seeing how the content creation space is just growing and growing. It's fantastic to have all of those out there. So it takes a whole community to sit there and make some really great stuff, and there's a lot of great stuff out there. I'm excited for it.
I did remember one thing. So, Todd, did you listen to Coordinated Fire's episode about Three Mirror?
Yes.
Okay. I have a question, Todd. We were not doing Three Mirror that way, right? Because they said the way you do Three Mirror is you have to play all 3 pairings. So you have A plus
Yes.
B, A plus C, and then B plus
Nobody.
C.
Yes, nobody here wanted to do it that way. I like that way. I think
Wait,
that's
what do you mean
awesome
they didn't
because
want to do it that way?
Yeah,
that
like
seems
that-
way cooler.
Right, that's the way I want to do it. I think that's probably the best way to do it because you're
Wait,
forced to sit there and make 3 separate lists.
Did we have this conversation and I don't remember it?
Probably. I mean, that sounds on brand.
Well, anyway, I vote that you're all wrong, community, and we should do it the way that the Canadians are doing it. I'm sorry, like that seems really cool. We got to try that.
No,
at some point.
I like that way. I think that makes sense. Like 'cause that way the list building aspect of that is challenging and I think adds a lot to it. Where it's like, okay, I have to make 3 squads that can work together. So it's like, I mean, for you and your Rebels, because like Rebels Premier list just really isn't quite there. You could make a really cool Rebels Premier list that that you're rotating through.
Right? No, I totally want to do this now. Like, so I'm sorry. We're gonna have to do a fun event or something where it's actual Three Mirror and give this thing a go. Because I well, either I forgot or I didn't ever hear this, but I have been kind of looking at Three Mirror. Like I've played in a couple of Three Mirrors, and like we're doing Three Mirror at uh,
LVO.
LVO, and I was like, well, but all I pretty much ever do most of the time is just bring my Premiere list and run it anyway, and
Yeah.
like then I'm just playing a Premiere event, and that doesn't
No.
seem nearly as exciting. And then I was listening to their episode, and I was like, wait, that sounds really interesting. So
Exactly.
we got to make this happen. We got to do this the Canadian way.
Okay.
Just saying.
From the
I have
great
spoken.
north. The way of the great north. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, definitely. I mean, Thermir's definitely like. I think there's that is probably one of the better ways to play it. I mean, of course, anyone can play. You can play it however you want. I mean, it's not even an official format anyway. It's just like a good
Right.
format that's been created. But I think that's a good one. The other thing that we were wanting to mention. Oh, go ahead. I think you felt like you. I heard the Aubrey thing. So what do you got?
Well, no, I was just gonna say, like, this is a real thing, everybody. Like, not trying to bash key operations or Galactic Legends or whatever, but in my opinion, some of the best things that come out of games come from the community. Because, like, look at the to do a comparison for those of you who don't know much about Magic, but maybe have heard of Commander. Commander was a format created by fans, by judges, to have something to do while they were running events and TOing and everything, and eventually it got support from the parent company. So, I mean, I think it would be cool if like at next Adepticon or something, one of the events was official. We were making this official. Three Mirrors now another way you could play.
Yeah, I don't see that happening, but it's possible.
Boo. Fine. Whatever.
And also, the other thing I was going to say is that I did see that they did announce that they are going to be doing a mini strav here in November 15th, which is interesting. So, like, previous mini stravs have usually been 2, 3, 4 days. This one, based off of the announcement, appears to just be a Saturday thing. So, like, just a really quick one hitter, one day, which will be interesting. I don't know. Like, I think I don't know if that has something to do with like how late in the year they're doing it, or how little like you're going to be seeing probably from other games, because there was just that big, huge launch for Legion. MCP and Shatterpoint's been kind of slow. Trade stuff has been kind of slowing down releases and stuff like that, like in the US. So, I mean, I think there's a collection of a lot of things that have maybe made this mini strav is going to be a little bit smaller than we've seen in the past. But we'll see what happens with that. It'll be interesting to see kind of what the take is and what kind of happens from all of this.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't. I think that I don't know that this is a good side, Todd. That they've significantly reduced the amount of time that they're announcing. There's pretty much one reason why you would go from a multi-day announcement schedule to a single day announcement schedule, right?
Normally, I mean, the other piece of that is like normally they do it like it's more usually closer to like the summer, like June, July, August. This one's like later in the year. We're also going to be, by the time they do that, you're going to be, 5 months away from Adepticon? At Adepticon's when they do their really big reveal, so why drop a bunch of stuff that's, because they normally don't do releases in November or December, maybe one in January, so, and like, we already know that there's not a lot of releases coming up, and they don't want to probably step on the toes of the big reveal in March at Adepticon. So there might just be like, okay, well, we'll give a little nibble, but there's not a whole lot that's going to be getting announced. I think there's a like I said, a lot of different factors that go into why it's a one day.
Yeah, and that just might be how it's going to be this year. I mean, it's again, we are getting some cool stuff in some of the other game systems. I know MCP players seem super excited about, who is it, Red Hulk? Is that the big deal? Seems like they're losing their minds over that. I'm just thinking idly in Discord.
I mean, I saw the Red Hulk that got. I think there was a picture of him in the case at Gen Con, which was really cool. I don't. I mean, there's that. I mean, I'm excited for like Blue Marvel and is it Spectre or Spectrum? I'm like, I know it's not Spectre. I'm excited for those two.
Wrong game, Todd.
Right. So in Spectrum, though, I mean, so I'm excited for those, but like because those are very niche characters that like maybe a lot of people don't know. But yeah, so there's some pretty cool stuff coming up in Marvel. It's I don't know. Marvel's in a. It's funny, like you listen to like our community here locally. There's a couple people that are very disgruntled with that game right now, which I don't agree with at all. I think the game's in a great place, but that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, there's some hype out there. I think there's some hype out there. I mean, that game's coming up on 7 years now. I think, or it's been out for a minute. So.
Wait, because I keep forgetting that it came out before COVID.
Yeah. It was, It like came out the summer before COVID. Like, so you had, it dropped in like August and then
yeah,
COVID
so it's 6 years old, about to be 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, my word. Yeah, it's in its 7th year. Oh boy.
Yep. Yeah.
Whew.
It's, I mean, like the game's been out for a minute and I think it's doing great.
Yeah. All right, but focus. We're not an MCP podcast. I took us down a rabbit hole already, Todd.
Yep, I kind of expected that today. Like with like our talking before we started recording, I'm like, this is probably not gonna go very like efficiently, but that's not what people come here for either. But yeah, so
hey, I'm awake.
We'll go,
as I yawn.
Yeah, as you yawn. Yeah, I hear that. But yeah, so. I think you wanted to kind of talk about the Jin Urso box. This is Rogue One box with Jin, Bodhi, and Bazin Chirrut. I mean, I think this is going to be a fun one. I mean, Bazin Chirrut and Bodhi, I think is like what had a lot of people were excited about to start with, simply because he's a 3 for Rebels, and I think Rebels kind of was looking forward to having a good 3, maybe for Luke, maybe for something else. But I mean, I think there's some excitement around this. Like, I know you went out and got your hands on a copy of this and everything like that. So, for you, what's like the big thing that you're excited about with this box?
Well, I mean, okay, let's get the elephant in the room out of the way. Baze and Chirrut are a better Han and Chewie, and Han and Chewie were already pretty good at everything except for defense. Like, and we gave up a little bit of the offense that Han and Chewie had for way better defense. Oh no, I'm so sad about that. Like they've got two stance, two sides to their stance card. One side is hyper mobile, the other side gives crit mitigation. Like roll 5 dice on both sides. Like I know other content creators have already been talking about Baze and Chirrut. I know people have already been getting them on the table. No notes. This is like the only thing that maybe you could complain about is that, and this is like super technical, is that Guardian of the Wills, the I am one with the Force side gives you sharpshooter, and the Force is with me gives you impact. And if you look at the pictures, that means that Chirrut gets the sharpshooter and Baze gets the impact, and one is famously a melee fighter and one is famously a shooting fighter. Like, Todd, do you see how deep I'm having to go to have something bad to say about this unit? They're going to be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, and I would guess that that's probably it was intentional. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, yeah, this is going to irritate somebody. Let's do it anyway, type of a thing. So it's funny. I find it hilarious.
Oh no, I'm convinced now that AMG is doing this just to mess with me. When they errated Vader and like quote unquote fixed him, but then still gave him the Galactic Republic tag, I was like, okay, you want me to keep complaining about this? That's fine. I have a mission.
Well, like I'm sure Plumber, you've met Plumber a couple times. I'm sure he's like, how can I irritate Aubrey and let him talk about this? Like, I would be surprised if he's just like, yeah, let me do this silent jab at Aubrey. That's what he was thinking every time that he designed things.
Yes. The only thing that I will say that's interesting about them, and I know that Jin doesn't care about like the spy tag, like Cassian's box cares a little bit more about spies, right? And
Mm.
so, like, I do think it's interesting that like she's a spy. Baze and Chirrut are not spies, though. That's important. And then like Bodhi is. So like there's going to be little details that you have to pay attention to. Like these guys only have Rebel Alliance and Scoundrel tags. Like, oh no, I'm so sad about that. But there's just going to be little things that you're going to want to think about when you're going through your activations. But my word, like you get to refresh a force on their act. Like Han and Chewie, I have whiffed with a Han and Chewie attack where it should have gone through, and I really needed the force from their force refresh. So even though Han and Chewie are great, there's a fail rate. Instead, this guy's like, "Oh, would you like a force just because I showed up? Oh, okay. Here you go. I got you, buddy."
Yep. Yeah. No, it's pretty nice. I mean, and then the second piece of that's pretty nice too, where you might be able to refresh an extra force or remove a condition or damage and stuff too. So makes them a little tankier or helps out that way too. So there's like both pieces of their active ability is pretty nice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no notes. So, all right, got the easy part out of the way. I will say Bodhi. I think Bodhi is one of those pieces where he's going to show up in weird places because he is our 3 point secondary, and while he is perfectly fine as a 3 point secondary, he is you know a little squishy. Like 1 to 2 expertise only gets you a block, 3 only gets you 2, so you're already rolling down basically to on his expertise. And like his offensive expert, like he only has 6 and 5. 1 to 2 gets you 2, 3 plus gets you a crit and a hit. And it's the same thing because he's using a blaster, so it's the same thing for melee. Like you're not murdering anybody with this friend. Like he's not, like he maxes out at 7 damage if you full tree. Like you're not even taking down a clone anymore. Oh, it's a new day for clones.
Yeah, but I mean, 3 damage and a pin on 2 is pretty good, or 3 damage and a shove on 2 is I mean, either one of those options is great. So I think he still does some pretty good stuff. I mean, yeah, he's not hitting you super hard. I think his first active ability is probably going to be your bread and butter, and like if you're building like a spy/rebels list, I think that's kind of like where, like, really kind of what you're bringing him is like that extra movement and the fact that he's a 3, so it helps in your list building if you have a 7 or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, and it's also just like he gives out an immunity to expose, which is cool. But we also had expose get nerfed as a condition. Basically, it comes up far less often. So like if we were pre-errata, I'd be like, oh yeah, this is really good. I can stop ARFs, I can stop blah blah blah. And now I'm like, well, that's good. I'm not going to complain about him giving out steadfast and immunity to expose. Those are both fine, but it's just a tiny bit less exciting. And then I just need an open line is one of those things where I'm like, my opponent is going to roll 3 every time, and I'm going to roll 1 every time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I think those are fine. I mean, I think that there's the subtle synergies about the contesting objectives is pretty interesting between Bodhi and then Baze and Chirrut. I find that very, very interesting that they have those kind of like contesting objectives and removing objective tokens and things along those lines. There's some synergies going on there, like some play back and forth that I think is, when you dive a little bit deeper into like utilizing that, it can be pretty cool. I mean, going back to kind of Baze and Chirrut, the fact that you can just gain momentum with their he prays for the door to open is like pretty interesting. Like depending, like, oh, you know what, I don't really have anything, but I can spend this force to do this, and oh, by the way, now I really didn't remove something, so I'll just gain a momentum from it. It's like you can manipulating the momentum tracker that way is, I think, kind of interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like how often, and maybe I'm wrong. It just feels like unlike Han and Chewie. Well, or even you do this with Han and Chewie too. I feel like this is the kind of squad that you do actually split up, and you would prefer to send them to like two different points and lock down things just because of how tanky they are. And instead they have an ability that's like, no, 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 stay together, friends. Come on, go be with your buddy. And I'm like, well, we'll see. I feel like that's going to be that's I guess that's kind of my only issue with all of the abilities in this box. It feels like there's a lot of I'm not going to use this ability all the time going on here. Like you're going to have to really be like, okay, like once per game I'm going to get to do this and I need to make sure it's at the right time, and like once or twice per game I'm going to be able to get Baze and Chirrut both on a point and do something. Like it's going to be one of those, at least for me, who sometimes struggle with these like abilities you don't use all the time. Like I would need to be like, okay, what's that cool thing I need to do with Baze and Chirrut because I forgot it even existed?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be like there's a lot of building around that happens and remembering. Yeah, like there's like you were saying, there's just abilities that aren't going to be. Oh, every activation, I'm definitely using this type of abilities, and because of that, I think that's one of those things where, well, you're going to have to build or be remembering of those and everything along those lines. It's just not a not a common. Oh yeah, yes, like I said, every turn you're going to be using that. It's just not happening at all.
Yeah, yeah. And then for Jin, I think she's cool. I weirdly feel like Jin is almost better not with her box. Like I don't know. I have to think about that. I mean, the fact that she could just tell Baze and Chirrut to make a 5 dice attack from anywhere at the beginning of her turn, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you want her with Baze and Chirrut just for that fact alone, because like they have decent. I mean, they have crits on. I mean, both sides. 1 to 2 expertise gets you a crit. Depending on if they're in melee, like on the melee side or the range side, it's like the better one is like one's a crit, two's a crit and a strike, three is 2 crits and a status condition of they're just they're they're flipped depending on which side you're on, and
Mm-hmm.
so like that seems really good. Like they're giving out a pin. They're giving out a pin and a strain, which means if you went the pin route on their tree, you can dish out some extra damage. I'm just thinking like a 5 dice attack from Baze and Chirrut is going to feel pretty good.
Oh yeah, I mean definitely so. I mean that you definitely can have that. I mean the one thing I'm looking at, I mean you could also like have that ability to use it with Han and Chewie. I mean of course you're going to have to payday them. Well, I expect to be well paid, however you want to call it, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
But you can,
payday, same thing.
yeah, you can do that. I mean that's about it. I mean because like, but yeah, I think the best target for that right now, because it has to be a rebel unit, is Baze and Chirrut. I don't know. I mean, like that's one of those where like looking farther outside, if you had maybe Lando and R2, that might be kind of cool because you can sit there and still do a range attack with them, and then they're still in your order deck, so they can't be targeted with range attacks type of a thing. So, I mean, like that's kind of cool where you get a little value out of them if you had them in there. But there's not like a lot of other rebels that are like jumping out at me like that are supports where you're like, yeah, this is who I would want to sit there and have to take advantage of that ability. I mean, is there somebody else that you're thinking of that might be you could utilize other than Baze and Chirrut for that?
Yeah, I mean, Han and Chewie, you're right. It's a little more expensive, so I don't know if that's a great idea. I mean, Rebel. The problem is that like Rebel commandos, what makes them good is their focus, and so I don't know if. I mean, I have not done a 5 die attack off of Rebel commandos, obviously, and math is not my thing. But they do have the pin and the shove on two success, because I figure on a 5 dice attack at best you probably get 2 successes unless it's Kanan, and so
But this
yeah, I
only
mean
works on
two,
a support too. So
right, right, yeah,
that's
no, not yeah, not saying you could do this with Kanan. I'm talking about his revenge attack, but
yeah.
I just don't know if I mean they have the 2 strikes on 2 expertise. So I mean, maybe Rebel Commandos would be the only other one I would think about. Like Pathfinders, unfortunately, they don't punch enough. I mean, Chopper's something, but you'd want him to be in melee. So
Yeah.
because his
Like I said, I
his
just don't think
expertise is
there's
just better.
right. So I just don't think there's options. I mean, for it really when it's all said and done. Well, no, Chopper's expertise is the same whether he's in melee or
Oh, yeah, no, I was just looking
yeah,
it up. I was like, no, never mind. So no, a 5 dice off Chopper is fine then, because you got a
yeah,
crit on 1 to 2, and so I mean, and he's got double shoves, so it is interesting. It's kind of the rebel. The problem is that rebels just suffer from the problem of rebel commandos, and now Baze and Chirrut are solidly your 2 best supports in this group. And where are you going to put them? Who are you putting them with?
yeah.
And the answer is it Jin or is it something else?
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense. I mean, so what about the rest of her abilities? I mean, she doesn't have any active abilities, just reactives and an identity. So I mean, is there anything like with those 2 reactives that you think is something to talk about importantly?
Oh, well, I mean, mostly just she does have the cool effect. I just want to point it out, and because we haven't talked about it yet, is the nice thing about This Is a Rebellion, isn't it, is that, and of course you're not doing this on her first activation more than likely unless she's going super late and your opponent's being really aggressive, but she can make a 5 dice attack with herself, then that'll trigger I Rebel, and she'll get to dash because after it's not an attack act or combat action.
Combat
It's
action.
after an attack. So so you do the 5 dice attack with her, then you dash, then you I don't know, focus or do whatever it is or move or whatever else you're doing with her turn. Then you can attack with her again. I Rebel can be triggered twice per turn during her activation. So then she can attack somebody else and then dash. So I mean, the one thing I will say about Jin is she's deceptively fast. She doesn't seem that fast because all she has is a, a dash on tactic, and then you're giving up the attack. But reminder that I Rebel is probably going to catch people off guard the first few times you play against Jin on the table. You're going to be like, wait, what? She's attacking me, and then she ran over there. Now she's attacking him, and then she ran over there. Well, where's Jin going?
Yeah, I mean, she can dash, dash, move, and attack dash again. Oh, and by the way, if you're on her resisting arrest side, there's like 2 shoves on the first 2, so you could be doing like shoving all over the place. I mean, she could just like easily probably get to the other side of the board on her first activation if it lines up right and she's able to do an attack her first time around. I mean, she does have range
Right.
4, so I mean, like, so that there is that too. So
Yeah, like I said, you're not doing this super fun play that I'm talking about early on in the game. This is more of something to just keep an eye out for as you're getting closer to struggles 2 and 3. Reminder, she might not be Rift Tamsin, but Jin can kind of bounce around the table too a little bit with her attacks. So, and she gets ironically, she also gets dashes on her defensive expertise. And depending on which side you are, either her melee or ranged attack on 3 expertise also gives her a dash. So she is just bouncing around like you're not. You need to pin her early and often, but also remember what happens when an opposing player gains 1 or more momentum. She heals, so good luck pinning her.
right, yeah, there's. I mean, she's gonna be fun list. I mean, there's a lot of things that are going on with her card and a lot of like things to remember that I think are Going to make her a little difficult to play for like the average player, just to like get used to playing and everything like that. I mean, granted, we play in a meta where we have people like that have either won Adepticon or finished in the top four at Adepticon, or so it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
right. So there's a lot of that where that is not something that happens very very frequently. So like, but like if you're an average Joe like Aubrey and myself, sometimes you're going to have to learn these things.
What what I will say is that I'm happy that she has a good melee expertise for that other ability we haven't talked about, which is it's like Bush's ability, where right is Bush the one where you add 2 dice for each enemy character other than the other one? That whole
Fearless and
thing.
inventive.
Yeah. So same idea there, but with expertise that actually makes sense. You can make a 7 dice, and have the 1, 2, 3 crits depending on your dice result. So yeah, I'm excited
Yeah,
about her.
yeah. I mean, I think all of these characters bring something unique to the game, which is like the one thing that we're always looking for is like when it comes to like list building is something having something unique that to play and everything along those lines. So, I mean, so you're pretty excited to get her on the board. I mean, when you're looking at like building a list, maybe with Jin, where are you starting at?
Well, I mean, I'm always the person where the first time I play with something, I want to just play it with the box as is. So get that out of the way. Once I get them assembled, I want to play at least one Cassian Jin. This is Rogue One. I wanna relive the movie and watch them all die, and it'll be fun. And
Okay.
then
Once you do that, once you've like gone ahead and killed off all of Rogue One with the Death Star, and you move on to the next thing, what what is it that you're gonna want to like for like if you were gonna go to an event, like what would
uh,
you end up doing?
okay, so hear me out because I think this is me trying to be cheeky with Jin. I have no idea if this is good. I have very little experience with him. I know a lot of. I'm gonna get it out of the way now. A lot of people are excited about Jin and Hera, and I understand why. But you've all heard that story, so I'm gonna take us in a different direction. Although I am gonna borrow Hera's teenage son to make this happen. I would like to. Don't worry, Todd. He's just gonna go commit some war crimes with Han Solo. It's fine. It's fine.
Well, I'm just like, wait, Kanan and her kid is not in this game, so who are you talking about, Aubrey?
What? Ezra. That's her adopted son. Come on. I'm not
You
talking
didn't
about
say
Jason.
adopted.
Oh my word. Anyway, Ezra. But so this is what I'm thinking. So you have General Solo. You have Ezra and the Rebel Commandos on one side, and the idea is, and I don't know if this is good or not, but you have like this weird, like super momentum manipulation thing going on, right? Because you have Ezra, who when he takes out a support, you'll get an additional momentum. Which, yes, I know you can't always do that, but I want to live the dream, Todd. And then General Solo has his what do you call it? Let's keep a little optimism here, right? Yeah.
Hmm.
So if your opponent has more momentum than you, gain a momentum. Because remember, Jin has that ability where you can spend momentum instead of force, and so I'm looking for ways to build up my momentum a little faster. So I'm thinking just General Solo, Ezra, Rebel Commandos. Then on the other side we have Jin, and then like here's the thing. I could just say play the Jin box. It's fine because then there'd be more dice manipulation with Bodhi and the other ones, but that's I don't know. I don't want to do that, Todd. I don't like that idea. So
Okay.
instead instead what I'm thinking, because I'm also looking for ways to have like kind of like force neutral turns, but also kind of lean a little bit into the spy tag. So what I'm thinking is one of two things, and this will make Jerry proud. I'm thinking either K2SO or Lobot for the lockdown ability, just to
Hmm.
make things extra weird. It's probably K2SO.
Yeah, I
That's
was about
fine.
to say, like, I think it's going to be K2SO.
I'm giving your favorite action figure an honorary mention, Todd. Okay,
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
but the reason being is I really like the whole like lockdown ability, and also he's a spy, but you also have like a little bit of extra revenge to go along with Han Solo,
Hmm.
right? So because the idea is this is kind of like a weird, it's a more controlling list. Like
Hmm.
you're kind of moving people around and using lockdown and other effects to kind of mess with your opponent. Because the last thing that I want to do is add in bar 2D2, because they have the, like, I'm thinking of the 5 dice attack. Well, one they have the spy tag, which is still somewhat important in the list. Rebel Alliance, but they also, like, the 5 dice attack on them. I think would be pretty cool because of what we were talking about. Is the whole like, you can use Jin to either move them up the board and then they still can't be shot, or make a 5 dice attack and they still can't be shot, and then you still have like all of the rebel synergies, and like Mingle is still pretty good. So I don't know. What do you think, Todd?
I mean, I understand where you're going with it. So the question I guess that I really have is, who is going to be your 3 point cost character that you're putting under Jin?
Huh? No, Lando and R2, because
Oh,
Rebel
and
Commandos are on the other side.
okay, you could put him
That's
there. I mean, you get the spies.
I mean, what would you put? Again, this is me just trying to build something goofy off the cuff. I do not expect this to be competitive in any way.
I mean, that's the
I was
only like.
thinking, I was thinking, what would be the most uh, struggle tracker manipulation in Rebels? Like, that was my
Yeah,
only goal. If you want to build a good list, be my guest, Todd.
no, no, no. I mean, it's fine. I mean, like you're getting your spies that way because like the problem is like you just don't have a lot of options there. It's either them or the Bespin troopers from the Lando box, the Wingard,
No.
right? Well, one something that like I was thinking that might be kind of interesting. There's not a well. Let's see. Let me look at something here.
By the way, Shatterpoint DB is not showing us Rebel Alliance characters, so if we're pausing, dear listeners, it's because we're having to do this manually. I don't know why the
No,
Rebel
it's
Alliance
not.
tag is bugged.
It's not really that piece of it. Yeah, I mean, because it's like I was looking at something else, but it's just he's not that much fun to put in there. Because like Bosk isn't going to do as much for you as you're going to want him to do for you, type of a thing. So it's because you just don't have the bounty hunters for him to be there. Like that's so yeah. I think your only option really is Lando and R2, which is. I mean, and they're fine. They're not a bad unit by any means. They're fine. It's like, but that's kind of what you have to sacrifice in order to play a 5 drop in a list with only 8 drops. You know, with 8 point costs primaries.
Yeah. The problem is the the thing in the room is, I would like to take Boosh here because spy tag, and gaining an additional momentum when wounding a primary, but you're taxing their force. But it's just, she's not, like, she can give a reposition to a spy, but she's just not. Pretty much the only place you can run her is in a bounty hunter list, and that's just to give her better dice, because she's wimp. She just would be too wimpy here, because then you could do something like Boosh, Rebel Pathfinders, and then you know, you would have other options.
Right. No, I mean you're definitely leaning into the spy synergies there. I mean, Ezra of course isn't a spy. Like Solo's not a spy, so I mean, like, but so you have to get your spies somewhere. Like the entire side of the Solo side of the box does, or of your squad doesn't have like this, that any spy synergies there. So like, is it really worth it to bring Boosh anyway? Probably not.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No. No. It's the same reason why I didn't bring something like Obi-Wan out of hiding, because he's not Rebel Alliance. He's not a spy. Like he is a good secondary, but he wants to be in a different place.
Yeah, and he's seen a little bit of a drop off. I mean, like I thought something like the update might have revitalized him a little bit, because giving disarm is pretty awesome, but he's just not seeing the play right now. So yeah, I mean that's, but then, again, like the spy synergy, I don't like. I think you're kind of leaning more into the playing around with momentum and stuff like that, more than the spy synergies. I think that's kind of where you're. I mean, but again, there's a lot you're gonna have to remember with that too.
Hey, I'm full disclosure, I don't even know if I'm gonna play this list. Like, I just was coming up with something fun to talk about that isn't me just saying, should you play Cassie and Kanan and not worry about Jin at all? Probably.
Yeah, I mean that's the strange thing with, I think, where Rebels is right now, is there's a lot of great primaries in Rebels. Where you're lacking is really in your supports right now, because like the primaries are fantastic right now, but the supports, it's like you have Rebel Path, or not Rebel Pathfinders, but the Commandos, and then Baze and Chirrut seem to be pretty solid right now, and then where else do you go with them? I mean, like if you're playing Ewoks, there's some places to go. Chopper's pretty good, but then yeah, where else do you go with like your supports and stuff like that? Is kind of the thing. You're not playing Zeb, like he's just like you're not getting enough out of him for a one unit support. So like I said, unless you're playing Ewoks.
Yeah, the elephant in the room is that, Cassie and Kanan takes all the best toys, and you're left trying to figure out what the next best thing is. Because I mean, let's be real. My rebel premiere, like, I want to build full rebel premiere, but if you start with a Cassie and Kanan list, you end up taking rebel commandos, Baze and Chirrut, Sabine and Ezra. Okay, that one's done. But now you're looking at, okay, what am I gonna take next? Because like another play direction I want to go is playing Jin just with PLC, because I think those two lists could have some legs. But then you're kind of dealing with the rebel alliance. Like, okay, you could play the Leia box. Okay, you get Han and Chewie. You have to have the Force to payday them into Rebel Alliance to make them really work. You've got Luke, cool. All right, then you look at Jin's side. Remember, we just cannibalized and took Baze and Chirrut away from her. What are we putting in as her secondary and support in Rebel Alliance? Are we putting Pathfinders again? Well, Pathfinders don't have access to a lot of extra dice without like either Cassie and Shatterpointing them, or like you basically have to focus shoot with them. Like, they're good at taking points. They're mobile because of the whole hunker and moving them up the board. But then who do we take as the secondary? Like, we're starting to run low on options. I already took the two best Rebel Alliance secondaries, right? Ezra, Sabine. So now we go Callus maybe, but that doesn't really fit with like the rest of the list.
So I guess here'd be a question: if you were to sit there and make this into take that strike force that you have this with Jin and Solo, and you were to turn it into a 3-mirror, what would you do?
Todd's getting fun. All right. If it was gonna be a 3-mirror, well, Todd, the problem is Cassian exists now. You're just gonna bring. You're just gonna bring Cassian.
Yeah. I think that's
He
what you would
gives
do
you
is bring Cassian. That gives you the ability to bring Baze and Chirrut. Who would be your support there, though? Or your secondary?
well, Cassian, Cassian, Baze and Chirrut.
Because you already have
Let's see.
Ezra
Wait.
gone.
I mean, probably it would just be well, Sabine loses her focus, so maybe it's not. Maybe it's not Sabine. I mean, it's probably still just Sabine for the extra mobility.
Okay. I mean, there's
What do you think?
Chewie.
I'm never that I'm never that excited about the problem. The problem with this game continues to be there is a better Chewie floating around.
Yeah, but you aren't playing him. You know what I'm saying? You're not playing Han and Chewie here. So
well,
I mean,
let's see.
giving
I gotta look.
the bodyguard
I gotta
there
look
is
at
pretty
Chewie
solid.
again.
His bodyguard's pretty good. You just keep him rolling around with somebody. Gives bodyguards to his secondaries and supports.
He does give
You know?
cover. Yeah, he does give cover. He does give that. He's got shoves.
Yeah,
I
he's a fun one. You said you're building a fun list. I mean, like, why not throw him in?
Yeah,
there
all right, fine. We go with Chewie. We go with Chewie there. So the there you go. But you see, even with this nice new shiny box that has all these nice toys, and I'm not complaining. Please don't take this as a complaint, anyone. I am happy with the Jin box. It still feels like I need one more Rebel support and one more Rebel secondary that is not named Han, Leia, Chewie, Luke, Lando, R2D2. Like, I just need one more.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, but it's interesting.
Meanwhile, Separatists just got their third box.
Yeah, they're not looking all that great themselves over there. You know, I mean, yes, they had something in the core box, but yeah, the Separatists, and we'll probably talk about Riff and the Separatists like in a future episode, just because it's like apparently we're not giving them enough love in our Discord or something along those lines. So, but we'll definitely talk about them. But yeah, I mean, any other closing thoughts on this one, Aubrey?
I mean, just that remember to look for little interesting synergies that maybe you aren't expecting. Because even I'll be honest, I like the Spectre crews, but even I was surprised when people started talking about Hera and Jin together. But when you look at their abilities, I mean, if you combine like We Will Not Stand Down and like the spending the momentum. With We Have Hope, like there's a lot of ways you can use like Bodhi in theory is going to give you extra momentum, and then you can spend that momentum on Hera's ability if you need to, and Hera's just a solid piece. She takes a lot of work to manage on the battlefield, but if you do it, she gives you a lot back. And so like that's pretty cool. Other stuff just idly in my head. I really want to try something with Luke Skywalker, Jedi Knight, and Bodhi. He kind of has the same problem as that you want to put Rebel Commandos with it. Like, please, AMG, just give me another unit that is somewhere between the power level of Rebel Commandos and Pathfinders. I don't need another Rebel Commandos, but just I need a sweet spot there, right in the middle. Right in the middle.
Yeah, we just need a box that goes back to Hoth, and then you can get like maybe some snowtrooper rebels or something.
Oh yeah, I'd be so down for that. That would be the battle of Hoth. That whole sequence is still probably one of my favorite. Like I know the rebels took a beating, but like that, like you got to see like how dangerous the Empire was. You got to see all the cool stuff Luke was doing to like try and fight back against the AT-ATs, like that whole thing, and the fact that they knew they were losing, they're still out there in the snow fighting, even though they know they're just buying time for everybody to escape. Like great sequence.
Yeah, just little ants for the Empire to step on. I loved it.
Oh, poor rebels. But anyway, I still want to try like some kind of. And again, maybe this is just a for fun list, so that I'm not worrying about my. I might just have to admit that my dream of having a full Rebel premiere list isn't going to happen yet, and I'm just going to run Rebels with either Republic or Mandos or Mando Republic, like we talked about last time, because I still like that.
Man Public, is that like mansplaining but for Star Wars?
Man Public, yes. It's where you explain to your date that you don't believe in democracy while she is in fact a senator in a democratic republic, and that line works for some reason because you roll a nat 20 on your persuasion check.
Man, you were all over the place on that one. That's fantastic.
What? That's the scene on Naboo where Anakin's casually advocating for a dictatorship.
Yes, but he didn't roll a d20. I get where you're going. Like, the references were amazing.
Oh my god, Todd. Anyway, the only other thing I want to try is something with Luke. So like I'm thinking like maybe another fun list that's just kind of enabled by this is like a Luke Fulcrum. Like you have Bodhi and Rebel Commandos on one side, and then I don't know. I guess it's just for fun. So then like Ezra and. See, I still don't even have good. I still don't have good supports. There's always one spot that I'm like, you know what? Whatever. We're just throwing Pathfinders in there. I don't even care, because that's the best. It's the best I have.
Like I said, you could go and play Separatist and tell me how that feels.
Hey, come on. You know what? At least you know exactly what you have to work with, and it's not much.
Yeah.
Instead, I'm over here. I was like, you know what the best character would be for the list I just proposed? It would be Luke. Luke would be the best character to pair with Luke. Oh, wait. Never mind. Yep. Just kidding.
Tale as old as time. All right. Well, yeah, let's go close it out here. As always, just want to definitely thank all of our listeners for tuning in, listening to us. We definitely appreciate you guys. If you want to support us, you can always do so by subscribing, or rating, reviewing the podcast on whatever podcast platform you're listening to us on. Or you can definitely become a patron and support us for as little as $1 a month. We definitely support or appreciate all the support from our patrons and everything that you guys do for us, because you definitely help us keep this show up and running, and we definitely appreciate that. Help us with our trips to Adepticon and LVO to stream and run those events and everything that we do with those. So definitely is a big help to support us that way. But as always, definitely we do appreciate you guys. And remember, this is Rogue One going away.
May the Force be with you.